Hello everybody and welcome to the opening round of the NXTGEN Racing Mazda MX5 Cup. We are here in Monza for the first one, and it is going to be an absolutely fantastic event if anything is to go by from yesterday. This is going to be an absolutely fantastic race, that is for sure. In the practice sessions that we were running yesterday afternoon, into the evening, there were some great close battles, a lot of shenanigans, and the pack racing is going to lead to some absolutely amazing racing, that is for sure. So this series starting up here today, we have got 8 rounds coming your way, and this is an absolutely brilliant calendar. We start here at Monza, of course, for the opening round. No first chicane. We'll get more into the layout that we are running here in a moment's time. We head off to Brands Hatch next week for the Indy circuit before we finally head across to Zandvoort, a circuit that I am super excited for. The GP layout for that one on the 11th of November. Tight streets, that's what everyone wants in these Mazdas, is it not? We're going across to Long Beach for the 4th round of the season before we head across to Aragon. That's on the 25th of November. As we go into the December, we've got the Red Bull Ring, into Thruxton, and then the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to round out the season on the 16th. Not the 6th, it's on the 16th of December, that calendar. A slight error there, don't worry, we aren't travelling back in time for the Motorsport round, that is for sure. Drivers out in their practice session at the moment here around the Monza circuit. Like I said, I want to talk about the track layout that we are running here today, because it is a slightly different one to what most of you are used to. We are running the GP layout, but we are not running with the first chicane. Instead, we head straight up towards the what is turn number 1, Curva Biasono, for up towards the first chicane on this layout, turns 2 and 3 of the what is normally our second chicane. That does mean that we are going to be going flat out all the way through until that second chicane here that we can see on the screen right now. And we are going to have bump drafting all through that corner. That is for sure. It is going to be a very close one. I've been watching the practice session unfold. A lot of bump drafting going on. It is going to cause a few of them to get unsettled. Qualifying, of course. Now, they are able to run with another driver out on track, but you can't bump them like you can in practice, because your lap time, well, that's going to become invalidated if they are going to be bumping each other. So from yesterday, the best time that you can find behind somebody at the start of the lap is going to be about 1.2 to 1.5 seconds. You're going to get a nice strong toe, and you're not going to close up quite enough in order to lose any time. So that is going to be incredibly important around this circuit. So yeah, running a very nice circuit around here. 3.5 mile long, this one. 9 corners around this circuit, and only 3 of them actually turn to your left. That's turn number 2, turn number 6, and turn number 8. As we see one of those left-hand turns, as we can see drivers going across the gravel. A lot of kitty litter being thrown onto the circuit in the practice session. It's going to happen in qualifying. It's going to happen in all 3 races today. That is for certain. Talking about 3 races, let's have a little look at how this event is going to sort itself out. We start with our hour-long practice session. We're coming into the last 10 minutes of that practice session as drivers get used to the end of their car. You can just hear the cars as they go past. They sound ridiculous as they hit the top end of their gearing, of course. We've then got our 15-minute open qualifying session. I'm sorry, as I had to have a quick sneeze there. We've got our 15-minute open qualifying session heading into I'm suddenly allergic to my microphone as we come around. It's 15 minutes for our first race decided by laps. It'll be about 15 minutes. I'm sure it's going to be about 7 laps for the two first races. That second race, again, it's going to be about 15 minutes, so about 7 laps around here at Monza. But that's going to be the top 15 results from the first race. They'll be starting at the front because they'll be inverted for race number 2. Race number 3 is going to be a full inverted grid. It's about 25 minutes. I think we're going to be doing 11 laps here at Monza for that race number 3. And like I said, that's going to be a full inverted grid for all drivers that are within the lead lap. All drivers running an advanced fixed setup here, so no need to set up a car, no need to get used to remembering how to set up a Mazda. Instead, you just got to learn how to remember to drive a Mazda. And with this car, it is quite an easy one to get the hang of. It's nice and easy to throw around these corners. And it's nice and dry today. In pre-season last week, we saw a very wet opening race of that weekend. But it is going to be a nice dry week here today. In fact, we've got a very sunny day as we go on. Some clouds covering the circuit every now and again, but as you can see there, blue skies for the most part, which will be absolutely fantastic for our drivers to get used to these cars again before we start seeing some more weather as the season goes on. Of course, as with all of our next-gen racing events, we've got that manual safety car, so we do have someone in the car ready to get out onto the track if we need it. Yesterday in the pre-season, in the test event yesterday, we did see the safety car get deployed in the first race. There was a collection of cars coming together. That first chicane is going to be a very difficult one to get all of our drivers through. Just over 30 cars preparing to head away that I can see at the moment, which is absolutely phenomenal. A nice big grid of these Mazda cars. It's going to be absolutely brilliant, that's for sure. The drivers, if they do head into a wall, which is certainly not out of the realm of possibility in the early stages of the race, they will get one free quick repair so they can pop down the pit lane, get their car sorted and head back out again. That being said, if you get yourself some aero damage in this one, don't worry about it, because these Mazdas, well, that doesn't really affect them very much. You're going to be able to keep on going, that's for certain, without any really impact on your overall speed, especially with all of the draft that we're going to get around here. Shall we go out and see if we can find somebody who is not Craig Traddock, who is sat down pit lane? Here we go. You can see Sam Finial, and actually, do you know what, let's ride on board, because he's just started a new lap here, which means we will be able to find out what this layout looks like. As you can see, we skipped the first chicane here, so we're going to absolutely ignore that first chicane here and head through now into what is turn number 1. When you get the toe through here, it's very easy. You want to keep on pushing the car in front, but you also don't want to lose out to the car in front. That's certainly true as well. You don't want to pull back too much to allow them to get away. Nice heavy braking point for turn 2, for turn 1 and 2. Sorry, turn 2 and 3. It is going to be a very heavy braking point after all that speed, getting pushed around, so it's going to be keeping it on the circuit. I think we're going to see a lot of cars into the gravel on the outside of turn 3. We're going to see that a lot of cars cutting the chicane within the opening lap, that's for sure. Through the Lesmos, and we continue around the lap as normal as we head now up towards the Ascari chicane. Again, you're going to get a lot of tow along this part of the circuit pushing through. Now, if you are the driver behind at this point on what is turn number 6 on this layout, this left-hander here, you're going to want to stay behind through the chicane. So on the exit of 8, as we get onto this back straight once more and head up towards the Parabolica, you're going to be able to get this slipstream and try to get through, especially on the last lap of the race. Trying to get past is going to be extremely important towards the end of the race, but certainly not at the beginning of the race. as long as you can stay out of the battles and the incidents, I think if you keep yourself within the toe of the race leaders, you'll be in there on the final lap. Now, yesterday's races in the test server certainly showed that. Like, it all comes down to the very end, and it doesn't matter if you're sitting in fifth, you still have an opportunity to win going on to the last lap, which is going to be absolutely fantastic, because that is a lap completed from Sam Spinell. He's currently sitting 7th fastest overall in this session, and he sits 2nd in class. Let's see if we can get just a little bit of timing information up for you, so you can see how this session is going right now. So you can see how your favourite drivers are doing in the server and how they are prepared to head into qualifying. Jamie Dory currently the fastest man out there. He won both of the test races yesterday. The track there was Sam Spinell. He runs slightly wide, but he gets himself back on. Here is the man at the very front so far of Jamie Dory. He sits almost 3/10 ahead of Murray Adams right now, who sits in 2nd. That's 2 pro classes. The highest pro am driver, that is Craig, who we saw down pit lane a little bit earlier. Then we got Isaac Doble in 4th position. Congratulations to him, of course, for his championship in the real world that he has just won. So great job to him. Ben Oucher sits in 5th overall at the moment, followed by Adam Delmont. We've watched Sam Spinell go around. Like I said, he's in 7th position right now. And then, as you can see, that wall of white, the wall of pro-am drivers from 14th down to 30th. 31 cars with lap times. There are a few more drivers without lap times, including Mikey Doble and Andrew Pike. Both need to set in some lap times. They are out on track right now. They certainly are. As we look at the number 88 machine, he heads up towards the braking point. And let's see if we can get ourselves into a slightly different camera angle. Here we go. That's a nicer one for these laps. As we head into the last minute and a half of this practice session, we're going to have a 15-minute open qualifying session, as these drivers will be trying to get the slipstream from those around, but again without any bump drafting, because the bump draft will invalidate your time and give you that 0x, and therefore it will invalidate that time. And of course 15 minutes is quite a substantial amount of time, but not really around this layout. Now, Buxton, you could get in a good amount of laps. However, here at Monza, of course, it's over 2 minutes for laps. Within 15 minutes, the most you're going to be able to do is 8 laps, and that includes an out lap, and then running consistently all of those laps run after the other, which certainly is easy to do with this fuel level. It's not going to be too hard to give up, not to give up, to find all of those lap times and put them all back to back. Right now, top 8 all within a second of each other, but again, it's going to be wondering how much did Dory and Adams get pushed to their time, and therefore, what are the actual times going to be in qualifying where they can get the toe, but not pushing. Now, toe is going to be incredibly important here. Setting up your laps, your laps are going to be super important, as Mike going to the bottom of the field at the moment with his first lap time on the board. Of course, he had that is his first time lap, and he had no one around him pushing him or helping him or anything in any way. That's the checkered flag then. So practice is over here, and we will get qualifying started in just a moment's time. 15 minutes of open qualifying, of course, as they've all we progress across into that qualifying session then. So the weather, like I said, it's no rain here today, which will be nice for all of the drivers. You can see it's nice and clear. 24 degrees Celsius track temperature right now, 20 degrees in the air. Quite high humidity, but not too bad otherwise. And as you can see, all of the drivers heading down and out of pit lane here. This is how busy it is within pit lane at the moment as this session gets started. 15 minutes on the board. Drivers will be trying to find some people to work with if they are able to. They're going to be trying to find anyone that they can to help along and around this circuit. This is the man at the very front of all of this train. He's got no one in front of him. This is Jamie Dory. Is he going to find what he is looking for here, which will be a tow? Because right now, without that tow, he's not going to get a bump draft. He's not going to get pushed to his time. So it's going to be interesting to see what Jamie Dory does. Yeah, he's slowing down. He moves to the left. He wants drivers to go past. He's going to let a whole train of drivers through here. He does not want to be at the front of that field. It's now the 023 Kieran Sharp who is at the front of this field, and Jamie Dory tucks in behind and will be at the back of this train. He was fast in practice, so we will keep an eye on him here to see if he can replicate that. A slow car, the 65, off to the side there. That was Isaac Doble off the track. Was that to allow Dory through, or was that just a mistake through the exit of the Ascari chicane? Right, up towards Parabolica now. We're looking at the number 13. It's Jamie Dory. He was fastest in practice. He won both the test races yesterday, of course, on a much smaller field, less than half of the drivers that we are seeing here. But he's going to come across the line. He's got a tow from about 3 or 4 cars in front of him. That is going to help, but of course, if he catches up too much, he could have an issue through the slower corners if he's right on the back end. That is Zara McGuinness in the 011 ahead, who is currently pulling along Dory, but McGuinness has another car directly in front of her. She ducks to the inside. How is this going to affect Dory's lap? Dory's now got the 504 in front. That's Ben Altria. Is Altria going to get in Dory's way? No. Altria moves out of the way, allows Dory through just about as they go into the chicane. Dory now getting the tow from McGuinness. And I think McGuinness has lost all of her toes. Altria behind. Of course, he can't give Dory a push, because otherwise that will invalidate the lap times. Through Lesmo 2 now, getting quite close to McGuinness. This means that Dory is not going to get the tow at the end of the lap, but has still got the tow now. Is he going to move through, or is he going to stay behind him? Obviously can't touch McGuinness. Moves to the left, and is that an abandoning of the lap? Yes, Dory abandons that lap. Wouldn't work out, of course. Too close to McGuinness means that it just would not work if Dory wanted to follow along. So we now watch McGuinness finishing her lap. She's got the 65 of Isaac Doble behind. What is Doble going to do? Moves to the inside. Then you've got the number 4 machine of Wilson Ware. Moves to the inside of McGuinness. McGuinness's lap time is going to be affected by this now, because she is stuck on the wider line and she goes off track. That's going to invalidate that lap, and she is not going to get a valid lap in this time around. The question is, who is going to get an invalid lap time? And it looks like Sharp has, one of the first to put in a timing there. Let's see what positions everyone's going. Doble fastest at the moment ahead of Liam Horn, and then it's Kieran Sharp a second off the pace. That is the difference there between tow and no tow. Sharp getting jumped by Doble. Is Sharp now going to try and follow Doble around? Of course, Doble was getting that slipstream by a number of different people last lap. Managed to get in a very good lap time by the end of it. Gets onto the brakes for the chicane. Very easy to just turn in a little bit earlier. Either one of those chicanes. Get over the sausage curb. You can get through it with a bit of a bounce, but if you're not careful, you will get a slowdown. That's going to ruin you around Monza here, because you're going to have to back off a significant amount to give up any time gained through corner cuts through that chicane. I do believe it'll be pretty much the only place that drivers will get any slowdowns if they do. A mix of drivers on the left-hand side there with our Pro-Ams going into the middle of the field. The Pro drivers at the back yet to get in any representative times. Of course, Dory and Autry are both backing off on their lap times. Mikey Doble still trying to find a solid lap time. Of course, entering right near the end of the practice session, hasn't converted anything just yet. Gatz's time at the back there will also be a time that was backed out of. This is the train of drivers right now, and you can just see the train behind and who is getting the tow and who is not. Kieran Sharp not getting the tow. Let's have a little jump behind. We've got Lewis Delmont here. And this is exactly what you expect to see here at Monza when you need the tow, is to have 3 teammates all running in line. That is going to help get your lap time up. A few drivers at the back there benefiting from this teamwork, but that's the 37 slamming on his brakes and backing out of this. That was Adam Delmont. Adam Delmont's second position at the moment. That was the other next-gen car backing out of it as well, and now it is just the 23 of Lewis Delmont continuing on his lap unaided at the end of this one. Mikey Doble goes into 6th position overall, 6/10 off of Murray Adams, so he is finding time here as we're about halfway through this session right now. As we come through the final corner, through the Parabolica, Lewis Delmont without any support. What lap time can he put in this time around as he comes across the line? Will it be enough to put him nearer the top of 201.9, being the fastest by Adams at the moment? Delmont goes into 9th, so not too bad, but is almost 1.5 seconds off of our new pole sitter, Sam Spinell. Spinell in the 113, who was a car overtaking Delmont at the end of the lap there. We saw him behind the train of teammates. That has really worked out for him, because now he has flown all the way to the top by a significant margin. That is going to be hard to beat unless you get the tow at exactly the right moment. Lewis Delmont backing out of his lap. He's going to send himself to the back of that train of drivers, which includes 2 of his teammates. Slowest man with a lap time right now, Jamie Dory, not putting in a represented time. Of course, this man was the fastest in the practice session. Practice doesn't mean anything, though, if you can't convert it into the qualifying session. Will this be an improvement on his lap? Jamie Dory sits 24th on the time, and it will not be an improvement, in fact an invalid lap last lap. So let's see what Dory can do here as he chases down the 65 machine of Isaac Doble ahead. As Andrew Pike moves into 2nd position, closing that gap to Spinell, but not quite enough to get onto the pole position spot. Of course, qualifying is going to be important to get out of the pack, but being right at the front, not necessarily important. In fact, could be a hindrance, because you're not going to get all of the tow that you want. This is a very close gaggle of drivers, and once again, Dory decides this is not going to be it and backs out of it. With only 5 minutes on the clock, is Dory going to be able to find a space that he is going to be able to get in a representative lap time? Because Mark Sykes is the only other driver slower than him, and 9 seconds off the pace is definitely not meeting the standards that he would expect either. As right now it is looking close between Adam Delmont and Nick Clibbins, if Clibbins able to find any time. Isaac Doble as well, just off of Ben Autry, looking towards the top. But right now it's the top 9 all within a second. Spinell, the fastest overall, the fastest Pro-Am as well. Zara McGuinness, the 2nd fastest Pro-Am, is 1.3 seconds off. As we watch Craig Jones, he's going a bit slow as well, because he wants to find a little bit of a tow. This is Adrian Fritz right now. He sits in 15th position in the number 16 machine, looking to improve on this lap time if he is able to. In front of him, he is getting the tow from Elaine McCain. McCain sitting in 23rd position right now as Adam Wilson-Weir goes into 8th position overall, just off of Isaac Doble's lap time, 1500ths of a second behind there. Fritsch goes through the final corner of the Parabolica, still getting the tow here. Will he find any additional time? Sitting 16th right now, 1.9 off the pace as Mikey Doble goes faster than Isaac, 7th position for him. No improvement for Fritsch on that lap time. In fact, it was 0.4 slower than a personal best. This is Altua. Altua sitting in 6th behind Lee Horn as they come up towards the Lesmos. This is going to be giving him a great amount of tow, but surely he's too close for this to benefit all the way around the lap. Again, you want to be looking for about 1.2 to 1.5 seconds to the car in front of you when you're running the same sort of pace to make sure that you're getting the most amount of tow all the way around the lap, but you're not getting hindered by anyone. But towards the end of that, you see a number of cars pulling off. That's the 23 machine of Kieran Sharp moving out of the way into the Ascari chicane. A slightly wider line there from the 36 machine of Horn is going to get a slightly slower exit, but the 504 off Altua, what can he do here? Is he going to continue his lap? Is he going to back out of his lap? He sticks it to the right, he's still there, but he is certainly slowing down to try and find a space in which he can slot himself in, and he slots himself in behind Kieran Sharp. And he has got, who is that behind? That's number 200 machine, is that? Yes, that's the number 200 machine. I cannot see. That's Craig. Moves to the right-hand side. Now, Craig is going to get the tow here from Altua, and then we'll be able to tuck in behind Sharp as well. Of course, another car. That's the 36 of Horn ahead as well. So, a lot of drivers coming in very close succession onto their hot laps, and that's not going to be able to help them put in the fastest lap possible. Which you look, it's qualifying. They're going 2 by 2 here, up towards the first chicane, heavy on the brakes on the inside, running for their normal racing laps on the outside. Altua here, still getting pulled along by Craig, but is it going to be enough to pull up on his time of a 2:02.3? I don't think it will. Spinell, still the fastest man out there, but Isaac Noble has found second position, 0.04 of a second clear of Andrew Pike. So right now, it is looking like a good lap time here. Is that Jamie Dory behind? I think it might be. It is. Now, Jamie Dory's only managed to get into 11th position in this qualifying session. At the moment, it goes onto the gravel. A big wobble there. Holds it together, though. Will decide to back out a little bit on this lap. But will he back out enough to let the pack behind through? Or is he going to try and stick with the pack ahead, which includes Doble, both Dobles, actually. That's Isaac Doble and Mikey Doble running together there. And then Dory behind here. So they could be working together with Dory. Dory might just be jumping in here, trying to work, get into the family affair as we head up towards the Parabolica. And this lap, it looks like it is going to be Isaac who gets the tow. He drops behind. Jamie Dory's there as well. These are looking to be about 0.6, 0.7 second gaps. Oh, as drivers dive into pit lane, checker flag is out, so they're not completing their last laps of the race there. Drivers dive down pit lane. This is Tom Davison. He takes the checkered. More drivers heading down pit lane on there. They've decided to abandon their final attempts here. Carl Thompson coming round the final turn and up towards the timing line, and also decides to abandon that lap. It looks like we have got most drivers now, as Nigel Stock's wing mirror has decided to part ways with his car, but not enough. It still wants to be there just in case they can reconcile, but the mirror right now not wanting to do its job. I think it's going to be a bit of convincing when we're preparing to get into the race session for Stock to have his wing mirror back. Hopefully he'll decide that he wants his wing mirror back, and the wing mirror will be happy to do that. Ben Oucher still running around at the moment, but qualifying here over and done with as the drivers all completed their last laps. What that does mean is we are going to get our grid set for this one. So let's have a look at what the grid is going to be for our first race of the season. Sam Spinale will start from pole position ahead of Isaac Doble. We've got Andrew Pike in third, and Murray Adams will start this one in fourth position. Adam Delmont, he's in fifth ahead of Nick Clibbins, who has taken sixth position in this qualifying session. Starting on seventh will be Mikey Doble. He'll start in seventh ahead of Ben Oucher. Then we got Davison in ninth ahead of Wilson. We're in 10th position. A nice strong top 10. We're still within a second of the qualifier. Still second of the qualifying pole position time right now. Lewis Delmont will start in 11th. He starts ahead of Lee Horn in 12th. Then we've got Lewis Mason in 13th, and the last driver within a second of the pole time was Jamie Dory. Man, fastest in practice. Gets it on 14th on the grid here in qualifying. William Kurtler will start in 15th ahead of Sam Smith. Kieran Sharp will start in 17th, and Zara McGuinness in 18th position. 19th will be to Nigel Stock, and Craig will take 20th place. Adrian Fritsch will take 21st ahead of Mark Hughes. Elaine McCain will start in 23rd ahead of Matt Getter. 25th position will be McDougall. Then we've got Carl Thompson in 26th. Leslie Brazil will start in 27th ahead of Ian Manners. Jones will start in 29th. Sean Connolly will start in 30th position. We've just got to wait for a moment whilst the session progresses. Then we've got Mark Sykes in 31st position. And James Parfitt will start from the back of this 32-man grid. This is going to be a fantastic race then. This slipstream, the toe, it is going to be extremely close racing. Lap number 1 is going to be incredibly dangerous, especially into this chicane that we can see right here, because all of the drivers are going to be piling into that one, and they wouldn't have slowed down for what is normally turn 1 here at Monza. Let's see if we can get ourselves looking at the grid. We certainly can. Field slowly fills in here. 32 drivers prepared to get themselves away for what is 8 laps here. Is it 8 laps? I thought it was 7. I was incorrect. It is 8 laps for this one. Drivers then preparing to get themselves underway for what will be 8 laps around Monza. It is going to be extremely tight, and as long as you keep the car going in the right direction, you avoid any incidents, you are in with a chance to win here. It is anyone's game. Doesn't matter where you start from. That is for sure. Doesn't matter if you are Sam Spinale and you are starting from pole position, and it doesn't matter if you are James Parfitt starting from 32nd. We've actually got Andy Outhouse as well. He did not complete a lap time. He will start in what is officially 35th position on the grid, but will be 33rd in the field. Drivers just getting their last few moments onto the track as the driver's briefing is just coming to a close here. We can get ourselves sorted as I hear from the voices inside my head. Those voices inside my head do belong to actual people, don't worry. But the last of the drivers then getting themselves onto the grid to prepare for this one. What is going to be a about 15 minutes of racing. With the 8 laps, it will actually be just over 15 minutes of racing. As it looks like we're just waiting for Murray Adams to get down onto grid in 4th. A few more cars a little bit further down as well, and then our grid will be set for the first race of the season. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. It is going to be, I would use the word sensible. Surely, drivers, we can be sensible up towards the first turn, but we know that it's not going to be. This is going to be absolute mayhem as all the drivers pile up towards turn number 1 and get this season underway. What a track to start this one off, I say. Of all the tracks on the calendar, absolutely fantastic choices, but to start this one off here is an absolutely phenomenal choice. We are getting ourselves prepared for this one. The last of the drivers finishing up gridding, as we've got once again Sam Spinell from pole position. It's Isaac Doble in second ahead of Pike, and then it's Murray Adams from 4th position, Adam Delmont from 5th position on the grid, Nick Clebens back in 6th. So it is going to be an interesting one. We've got about 10 seconds left until we will get the lights up here, with Spinell starting from the front of this one. The engines rev. The 8 laps are on the board. And we are going to be green, and away we go. Sam Spinell from pole position ahead of Isaac Doble in second. The drivers straight away tucked towards the left to try and get themselves protected here on that left-hand side, get themselves into slipstream so they are not going to be under attack as we head up towards turn number 1. Of course, no chicane here. They can head on straight through. Our first breaking point will be the second chicane around here at Monza. All the drivers setting themselves in straight away on this opening lap as they go 3 wide. That's the 57, looking to make it 3 wide up the inside. If Pike can do it, it doesn't look like he can. Onto the braking zone here, up towards the chicane. Are we going to get through? All clearly. Are we going to get carnage? It looks like somehow we're going to get through. Only 1 car off, and there we go around in the background. 3 cars involved and around as that contact happened out of the first chicane. Drivers are going to get themselves sorted. You can see the damage towards the back of the field there. About 6 or 7 cars involved in that one. As the drivers now towards the front have settled themselves down, and it looks like, for the most part, the front of the field has got away with minimal damage. A lot of carnage towards the back here, but we are going for the lead. It is side by side. It is Murray Adams up the inside of Isaac Doble for the lead of this one. Right now, Adams leads ahead of Doble. As we come through the exit of the Astari chicane and up towards Parabolica, this leading pack all settled in behind each other right now. As we head up towards the final hairpin, who is going to be involved in this one? It looks like it's going to be Spinell looking to try and regain in this one ahead of Isaac Doble. If he is able to take that inside line, he certainly is. Doble stuck on the outside, and without anyone pushing him, is anyone going to move over to the left-hand side to get involved? This has a massive crash out of the final turn in the background. This continues to be the lead as they head up towards turn number 1, the right-hander. It goes 5, 6 wide as we come through towards the first turn. They settle themselves down into a 3 wide. Is this going to remain? All drivers facing the right way. No, huge accident at the front of this field. Number of cars off and around in the background, and more cars come piling in. A huge wave of cars just going in full throttle as they all head up, most cars off the circuit there. And this is the lead. Doble and Spinell have come away from that unharmed. This is Adam Delmont. He's in 3rd position without a front bumper. As we continue to come around is Spinell now looking to regain the lead if he possibly can. We head up towards the Ascari chicane, pushing now. As we go into the Ascari chicane, I can hear in my ear, I believe we might be going under safety car at the end of this lap. Safety car has been deployed. It will be coming out at the end of this lap, which means the drivers are allowed to run up towards the timing line here. Doble leading the way. Spinell has backed out of it though. It looks like it is going to be... Look at this, more cars off in the background there, more cars with damage. That's Lewis Mason trying to get his car around here as we go under the safety car. But it is going to be Isaac Doble leading the way as we get under the safety car right now. I'm going to see if we can try and find any... here we go. Let's see if we can find any of the replays, as I can see a lot of incidents occurring. Let's see if we can figure out some of these incidents and see what has happened. So we are under safety car here. He leads the way. Is Isaac Doble out front, as it looks like during that safety car moment we've got a lot of cars off. Let's see if we can get... This is the opening lap of the race. Here we go. A spin and just more cars piling into each other. That was the first chicane on the opening lap of the race. Let's see if we can get towards the breaking point. This is looking at... Well, who is this looking at? I think it's McDougall involved in this one, but around they go. Just a spin ahead and more cars just into that one. As that is McDougall. McDougall 14th in class at the moment, right now. Let's see if we can get what happened up towards turn number 1, if possible. No, that's happened a little bit later. That was Joy already up the track, so I believe. Here it is. Let's see. This is a pushing out towards the front, up towards. There's already a crash ahead, so this isn't even the lead pack. This is the pack that was coming in behind. That was the pack that was following the original crash. What happened there? That is extraordinary. Just piling into that one. Let's see if we can get the lead lap crash. Here it is. This is the lead crash that pulled out the safety car. Just a little bit of a wobble, a bit too much of a contact. Off they go. Car on the inside. Could have stayed relatively okay. Until all of that occurred. We have got the safety car out at the moment then as we ride on board, looking back towards Isaac Doble. He sits in the lead of this race. I believe we're going to be restarting at the end of this lap here. As it does sound like we are going to be starting. You can see just there in third position, Adam Belmont has no front bumper. That does not affect these cars too much, however, so we haven't got to worry too much about that one. Safety car is pulling away from the front of this field, and I believe that we will be going back green in just a moment's time here for a restart onto the 4th lap of asking. As the safety car note stays out, we're going to go another lap under safety car here. Doble leading the way. Let's have a little look then at some of the more things that occurred there. This is just underneath the safety car because how slowly we are travelling. That is what's happening here. This is what actually happened to cause it all? It looks like it's the two teammates touch. The two Mission R teammates touch. And on the outside, just grabbing the gravel there. It's just a little grab of the gravel from another car. It just sends the car around into a spin. This also happened at the last corner of the opening lap of the race. So we saw this in the background of the broadcast. It was 3 wide and just a little touch and around and into the wall. A heavy hit for Sam Smith there. Just a small little touch. It was 3 wide and that became a difficult one to hold on to as the cars continue around under safety car here. We come up towards Lesmos. Look at Adam Delmont's machine. Let's just have a look at that. That front of the 37. Now, thinking of that damage in any other car, you'd say that he was a write-off for the race win here. He is not a write-off for the race win. He is totally in with it. Safety car is in at the end of this lap. That's certain. I can hear that in my ear now. As Doble is going to lead us away. He is going to have the chance to choose where to take off from in this opening race of the evening on our restart for the second half of the race. We've completed 4 laps. We are going to be running 4 more laps in this one. Doble leading the way will be able to decide when to launch. No overtaking, of course, until we get to the timing line. The safety car pulls away. Doble is the man in charge of the pace here. He is going to make the choice on when to launch at the restart here. Could go early, however, or it could also be a late restart. Probably the safer option. Is it going to be? No, it's already away here before the parabolica from Doble. And look at the gap, over a second to Sam Spinell behind, who has been caught sleeping on that restart as we head up towards the timing line. The safety car is officially in and we are on our restart here for the second half of this race. Onto the 5th lap now. Who is going to be trying to make a move? It was a slow restart for Sam Spinell. However, the slipstream here is going to be really helpful to bringing Spinell back into this. Doble is not away from it at all, even with that fantastic restart. At the moment, we are looking at the driver in 5th position as Adrian Fishing's at the back of this train. It's going to go 4 wide at the very front of this train. Actually, this is Kieran Sharp. Where is the cars in front? Now, they are trying a slightly different line there from Dalmont, trying to get past Doble if he possibly can, but it doesn't look like he was able to do that right now as we watch with Doble, who is down to 2nd because Spinell made the move into the lead through that chicane. We missed that one. Let's have a jump back here. It was up towards, it was that slipstream. Spinell goes to the inside. Doble just left on the outside and a confirmed move under braking. A nice easy move for Spinell, even with that excellent move from Doble. The slipstream is just too strong. It's too much here to really have any sort of help getting a good launch. We watch Spinell come around now as it looks like we could possibly have had some more crashes. No, that was under the safety car. It popped up as being the latest one, and there is the latest one. We have had some more crashes, but here comes Delmont. Delmont to the outside of Isaac Doble here, up towards the final turn. Delmont on the outside of the parabolica without a front to his machine. Doble's going to hold up the inside. Doble's also going to get pushed here from Sharp. Delmont almost left out and hung out to dry on the outside line. We come up towards the timing line right now. Spinell leads the way, but it's not going to stay that way for long. Delmont's following Spinell, but Sharp gets the purple lap as he follows Isaac Doble, trying to push Doble up towards turn number 1. They are side by side here. It is 2 by 2 by 2 in the front 6 positions. Doble gets pushed into the lead. Kieran Sharp moves into 2nd. Sharp is side by side with Spinell here. Spinell stuck on the outside, could turn to the inside though. Is Spinell going to try and make a move for the lead once more? It's 3 wide onto the first braking point of the lap. Who's going to come out ahead? Spinell does. Doble stuck it on the middle and falling down the order is Sharp. Doble moves back into 3rd, but Doble gets an absolute absolute fantastic exit out of the first chicane into Lesmo 1. Isaac Doble leads the way out of Sam Spinell here and moves back into the lead. But there's no way this race over at the front of the field, because we're only on the 6th lap. We've still got 2 more laps of asking at the end of this one. Heading now up towards the Ascari chicane. This lead train, 6 cars right now, led by Isaac Doble. What is Spinell going to do? Spinell's going to go for the move once more up the inside of Ascari. Much better line from Doble. Who's going to get the faster exits? Doble going to get pushed by Delmont this time. Doble moves to the left as Delmont goes to push Spinell here. Leaves Doble out to dry on the outside up towards the final turn here. As we get towards the braking point for Parabolica, it's really easy to miss your braking point when you get in pushed, but none of these drivers doing that so far. It remains side by side. Isaac Doble on the outside of Sam Spinell for the lead of this one. He remains there as we go on to the penultimate lap of the race. You can see the train of cars following behind. Right now it is the outside line that has got more drivers, but he goes to wide for the lead, and Isaac Doble is left absolutely defenceless. No one supporting him here. Up towards turn number 1. There's now a fight between Spinell and Delmont for the lead. Spinell's got the inside, Delmont on the outside. Delmont being pushed by Wilson Weir. Spinell being pushed by Sharp. It's the inside line that helped out a lot more. Spinell takes the lead of this one. Head of Kieran Sharp. We get on towards the braking points here. Towards the first chicane, we get through in, and Spinell once again leads the way through the first chicane. It's side by side though between Wilson Weir and Doble. Accident in the background, 3 cars off. As it goes side by side, Doble settles down there. As it looks like that was not the one I wanted to get to. I'm trying to find it here. It looks like it was Lee Horn, possibly with Mickey Doble. Maybe. No, I've got some disconnect there. Let's find out what's happened here. Let's see if we can get a bit closer to the accident as we head up towards the chicane. I've lost everything now. Let's not do that. As we will get back towards the lead. There we go. We watch the lead fight. I will try and catch that accident post-race if we are able to. But let's watch this lead fight again. Spinell leading Delmont, leading Sharp and Wilson Weir. Then it's Isaac Doble, and Fritsch is at the back of this fight right now. He's in 6th and he's not been able to get involved just yet. Doble looks up the inside, to the outside of Wilson Weir here. Another move for the lead. Sharp on the outside. Doesn't work out on that wider line. How about for Doble? Doble on the outside line of Wilson Weir up towards the white flag lap. Who is going to get the toe here? It looks like it's going to go Wilson Weir's way, but Doble is not backing out of this one. It's going to remain side by side, and here goes the fight for the lead once more as the white flag is going to take the lead for Spinell onto the white flag lap. Delmont pushing behind. Here comes Kieran Sharp to the left-hand side of the circuit as Sharp is able to do so. Sharp takes the lead momentarily, but of course we know Spinell has been great into this first chicane and has come out on top every time so far. Will he do the same right now? He's got Doble pushing him. This is the final time we're heading through this chicane. A lot of gravel being kicked up into the air. It is going to be Sharp on the inside of Spinell this time. Spinell does not back out, and there's contact. Sharp onto the gravel. Recovers, doesn't go around, but Spinell now leading the way. As we go through the Lesmos, they settle themselves down. Doble tucks into 4th, looks to the inside to try and get up the inside of Wilson Weir. For 3rd position, there's contact. Doble sideways, and Isaac Doble goes around on Lesmo 2. For now, the lead fight down to Sam Spinell and Adam Delmont. Who is going to come out at the front of this one? Has been in the front, fighting most of this race, well the whole race. Delmont has been there since the safety car with that major front end damage. Like I said, it doesn't mean anything in these machines. Delmont's going to get the toe, Spinell is not. Where do they go? Delmont moves to the left-hand side, the outside up towards Parabolica. Spinell falls behind. It's all going to be about the braking zone here. Onto the brakes they'll go. Who is going to get the better line? Spinell with the inside line. Is he going to get the speed on the exit as well? Yes, he is. But here comes Delmont. The slightly wider line. It's a drag race to the line. Delmont has got the speed. Adam Delmont beats Sam Spinell to the win here at the opening round in Monza. Adam Wilson-Weir takes home 3rd position as the other drivers behind just come in line and try to take any position they can at the end of this one. A battle behind. It's Jamie Dory. Contact! Jamie Dory around. That was Doble and Lee Horn involved in that over the line. That is race number 1 done as more drivers just come to cross the line and finish this one the best that they can. It looks like the checkered flag is out for all, but somehow it is this man here who took the win in that race. Adam Delmont takes the win here in race 1 at Monza with an absolutely destroyed front end. Just played it perfectly to place himself at the front of the field by the end of the first race. Top 15 will be reversed for race number 2. 8 laps on the board once again for that one. What a fantastic result, and let's have a look at the results at the end of that one. As I hit the completely wrong key. And that happened. Let's have a look at the results on this one then. And it was Adam Delmont who won by 18 hundredths of a second over Sam Spinell, just having the speed on the exit of the final turn. Adam Wilson-Weir took home 3rd position in the end, and Adrian Frisch came home in 4th with all that contact happening behind. Kieran Sharp took home 5th. Murray Adams took 6th ahead of Craig Jones, Nick Clevens, Andrew Pike, and it was Stock who rounded out the top 10 in that one. In 11th position, it was Phil McDougall ahead of Kyle Thompson. Isaac Doble falling down and out of the fight for the lead on the last lap of the race there with that contact sending him around at the end of Lesmo 2. But with the top 15 reversed, Doble will start in 3rd in the next race. William Kirtland took home 14th, and Zara McGuinness is going to take the pole position for race number 2. Tom Davidson will start in 16th and finish this one in 16th out of Craig, Sam Smith, Lewis Delmont and Lee Horn. Then we saw some issues happening behind that. We got Mikey Doble finished home in 21st position ahead of Jamie Dory with some contact between the two of them. Gatter took home 23rd ahead of Ben Oucher. Mark Sykes took 25th in the end ahead of Lewis Mason and Alain McCain. Ian Manners took home 28th ahead of James Parfitt and Andy Outhouse. 31st position was Mark Hughes ahead of Sean Connolly and Leslie Brazil, a lap down at the end of that one. Race number 1 then over, but let's see if we could possibly have a little look at what happened at the end there for that accident. Oh, this looks like it was a cool-down lap. Let's see if we can find a little bit of a better look at what happened over the line, if possible. Wanting to see what happened in that accident, but I'm getting a lot of issues trying to get back to those crashes. This was earlier in the lap. That was Jamie Dory getting involved and going around there, a collection, and that's what happened in the background. We saw that happening in the background of the first chicane there. Let's see if we can figure out what happened later in that lap. This was Isaac Doble. This was him going around. In the fight for the lead, he looked up the inside for 3rd, pulled slightly across, contact there with Wilson-Weir and just a spin. getting back on as quickly as he can, getting back on out of the way of anyone else. And then let's see if we can see what happened at the very end there. I don't think we're going to be able to see what happened in that crash at the very end, which is a shame. Okay. Right, that being said then, that race is over and done with. Race number 2 will be coming your way in just a moment's time. So don't go anywhere, because we will be back here at NXTGEN Racing for race number 2 at Monza. The top 15 of that race results will be reversed for the grid. We'll be back in a moment's time. We are here then preparing ourselves for race number 2, and before that one comes your way, we are going to see if we can get our first driver interviews of the season. Now do bear with me, as this is going to be the first time that I have obviously done this, so we're going to see if we can pull in a couple of drivers and find out how their race number 1s went, because for Isaac, for example, started quite high up the field, managed to get in there. Isaac, are you there? Are we able to have a word with you? We will bring Isaac back in a moment's time to see if we can get Isaac back, because we'd love to talk about how that went for Isaac at the very end there. However, for other drivers, it went a little bit pear-shaped towards the end, and that included for Jamie Joy in the end of that one. Hello, Jamie. Hello, the end of that one, it went a bit pear-shaped on the last lap before you got caught up in a couple of incidents, including one we saw across the line. What happened?
Well, yeah, obviously, should have quite good pace, generally speaking. It's just, I think not having a good quali put me in the mid-pack, which is a dangerous place to be. There was a crash in the first group mid-race. I've just had in the ear prior to coming in here with regards to Lee, him apologising for the finish line incident. So, yeah, not the race I wanted. So, race 2... forward, I think.
Well, good luck with race number 2. Hopefully it goes a little bit better for you, and we'll hopefully be able to talk a little bit more celebrations for you, Jamie.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, Joseph.
All right, that was Jamie Dory then, going around towards the end of that one. Getting into a contact, actually, with one of the Dobles. In fact, let's see if we can pull him across into here at the end of that race. A crash across the line. It was an interesting one to watch. Any comments on that one?
Yeah, it was an interesting start to the season. I got involved in 3 accidents there in that race. I think we saw multiple demonstrations of bump drafting gone wrong is all I can put it down to, really, and a little bit over ambitious on some of the moves, but we'll move on. Don't have a clue where I finished in that one.
Do you think you have a bit of a better opportunity into race number 2? You've learned a little bit about where to push, where you can be pushed. Do you think you're going to be able to make your way up the order and maybe fight for a good result?
I don't know, really. I mean, I just fell victim of other people's bad bump drafting in that race. So hopefully, from my point of view, there'll be a big crash at the front again that I don't get involved in, or my brother, and I can get back to the front that way, because I think it's going to be difficult to make a lot of ground up otherwise.
Well, good luck for race number 2, and hopefully, as you say, it goes a little bit better on your way. So yeah, hopefully a bit better on that one as we continue to prepare here, as we watch the preparing for race number 2. As we here's upside down. Unfortunately, we've left the last server with the last replays for that one, so we cannot catch back up, because that was having some issues with my replays towards the ends there. So I do apologise for not being able to catch up on all of the errors that happened. There were certainly a few of them, and hopefully we can go a little bit better. As we will prepare ourselves then for race number 2. As said, the grid for this one then, top 15 reversed from that first one. I'm going to jump back across into the race control server so that I am able to hear any of the safety car calls, as I try to listen to absolute amazing things there, as I was trying to hold my excitement in there of talking to a real world BTCC driver. That is for certain. It sounds like I'm being absolutely cool and collected, but no, I am absolutely fangirling out over here after that one. That was super cool. We are preparing ourselves then for race number 2, which will begin in which we'll get gridded up to in about 1 minute's time. We will then get our 3rd race in after all of that. So what that does mean is that we'll be getting a longer 3rd race, and it will be the entire field inverted, as long as they all finish on the lead lap. So we could see an incredible change to the standings in that 3rd and final race. But this top 15 reverse is going to put some drivers back into some good positions, including Isaac Doble, of course, who was battling for the win all the way up until the last lap of the race, and then went around Lasmo to contact with Wilson Ware. Now, I would not put blame on Wilson Ware for that one. It was certainly a move slightly to get back onto the racing line, the hope to get the faster corner from from Isaac that put him into the path of the number 4. That's certainly my take on that one. However, it certainly is an interesting look at to see how this race is going to go now. There's going to be a lot of drivers learning from that one, where you can, where you can't push. But they are all going to be hoping that they can push just enough to find themselves up towards the front. As the drivers get themselves ready and gridded up, we will have a look at how this grid is actually going to start with the top 15 reversed. As I said, it is going to have Isaac Doble back into a very nice position, and again an opportunity to win if he can hold on to it this time. But it is going to be Zara McGuinness who is going to be starting this one from pole position, of course, as we will get our full grid up for you. There we go. Zara McGuinness will be starting race number 2 from pole position. That'll be ahead of William Kurtler and Doble taking 3rd on the grid here. Carl Thompson will start in 4th ahead of McDougall, and Nigel Stock in 6th position. Then we will get Andrew Pike in 7th ahead of Clibbins, Jones and Adams. Then we'll see Kieran Sharp in 11th ahead of Fritsch. Then we will see Wilson Weir, Spinell, and our race 1 winner Adam Delmont from 15th position. Top 15 reversed. Tom Davison will start this one where he ended up. That's in 16th ahead of Craig and Sam Smith in 18th position. Lewis Delmont will start this one in 19th ahead of Lee Horn. Mickey Doble will start Michael Doble will start from 21st position ahead of Jamie Dory. Matt Gatter in 23rd, Ben Outra in 24th, Sykes in 25th ahead of Mason, McCain, Manners, Parfitt, and then Outhouse. In the back of the field will be Mark Hughes, Sean Connolly and Leslie Brazil. That is the most amount of names I've ever had to read off at once. I will apologise in advance of me saying names completely incorrectly. I will do my best to correct myself. If you ever want to send me a message, correct me on pronunciation of names, please do that, because otherwise I will say your name wrong for all eternity. Zara McGuinness then starting this one from the very front of the field, taking that top 15 reverse grid pole. We are just waiting for a driver to rejoin into the session, it looks like, and then we will prepare ourselves. So 33 cars preparing this one, and I'm very fortunate that this is only a 33 car grid, but I do know that it is going to increase as the weeks continue, as we'll get more drivers behind the wheel of their machines next week, as we've got quite a few signed up. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. A huge grid of drivers. They've got themselves fixed cars. They've repaired their cars. They've repaired their mistakes, hopefully. I know that, as we heard, there was some apologies being made in the chat, as Jamie was saying, being apologised for by Lee for that last lap incident across the line. As we just wait for the last of these drivers to grid up so that we can prepare ourselves for what is our second lap of 8 laps. So another 8 lapped race, and as we saw, we got a safety car in the first one. It's high likelihood that we're gonna get another safety car in this one. Of course, last time it was out for 2 laps. It came out on the 3rd lap of the race, and it was out until the end of the 4th lap. Will we be able to survive 8 laps without the safety car this time, or are we going to get a little bit more? We just wait for the last couple of drivers to get themselves onto the grid so that we can start this one. 33 cars preparing themselves to get started for the second race of the day. Zara McGuinness out on pole position for the reversed grid race. Of course, remember, the results for this one are going to be utterly reversed for the third and final race of the day, with a full invert. The grid's looking full, looking healthy, and We are counting down now, the last few seconds before we get the green lights, as the voices in my head continue to tell me what is happening in the background. It is something I will need to get used to, as we need to change that across to our laps. We've got 8 laps on the board. The lights are going to be up. They're down, we are away, and there is a jump start from Sean Connolly off the line there as we head up towards turn number 1. I thought there certainly was a little bit of smoke being kicked up earlier than everyone else, but we head up towards turn number 1, and already Isaac Doble is looking to take the lead of this race ahead of Simon McGuinness. He moves into the lead from 3rd position on the grid. Has William Kirtner now pushing behind as well as they go side by side in towards turn number 1. McGuinness stuck on the outside. What is she going to do as we get up towards the braking zone? She can stick it to the inside of Kirtner and try and take that lead. Doble goes defensive. McGuinness goes even more to the inside. Doble shoots on forward. Is he going to miss the chicane? No! But Kirtner goes around. Everyone avoids. That was one car off of the circuit to avoid, but everyone gets through. And this time, we look like we have managed to get through the opening bar of this one once again, nice and cleanly. The first lap was rather clean in the first lap of the race, but I think we've managed to get through the first chicane without issue as well. Yes, the entire field has got through this time without going into any contact. One car ran, of course, but he has set himself down. That's William Kirtner, started in 2nd, down into 30th now. So it's side by side. This is Wilson Weir. He sits in 11th position. He's going around the outside of Craig Jones, looking for top 10. Jones gets back at the inside, will hold on to the 10th spot for now. But right now, Isaac Doble has got 1 second lead over Nigel Stock, who has taken 2nd. It is side by side, McGuinness and McDougall. McDougall on the left-hand side of McGuinness here. McGuinness is going to have the inside through the final turn in the battle for 3rd position right now. Are they going to manage to get through without any contact? Yes, they do. Simon McGuinness holds on to 3rd position, but now McDougall is going to have the slipstream, but doesn't want it immediately. Tucks up the inside as that is side by side behind, and around goes the number 11 of McGuinness. Dougall caught as well. A lot of cars involved, more cars getting thrown into the wall, trying to avoid. That was Nick Clibbins being thrown into the inside pit wall as the driver slowed down, tried to avoid it. Which was better than what we saw at turn 1 last time, but it looks like we are going to continue. Green, now there's contact behind. More cars into the wall, and they're piling in this time. A huge amount of contact as they settle themselves through. It looks like everyone else has made their way through, but this is now the fight for the lead. Nigel Stock behind Isaac Doble right now, up towards the Lesmos. I'm trying to listen in my ear. It doesn't seem like there's a debate right now about the safety car. They're just having a look at the contact to see if there's anyone at fault. As we were talking to Mikey Doble before the start of this race, said, I hope other people in front get involved in incidents that we can avoid and we can move up the order here. Certainly has done that as we will get the timing tower up. There we go. And Doble is up into 8th position right now and has 3 cars right in front. Could move into a top 5 here in this second race. Connolly still out with that black flag for driving through. That is, in my ear, safety car deployed, but we are still fighting up towards the timing line. Kieran Sharp goes to the inside of Adams. Adams to the inside of Wilson Weir. It's 3 wide into the hairpin. They know through the parabolica that they are racing to the timing line. Who is going to come out in front? It looks like Adams is going to be able to carry the speed on the wider line that we saw in race 1. The outside line worked, but who is actually going to lead it as they come across the line? It is so close, but they will settle themselves down out to the front, and the safety car is catching the cars at the front as they all settle themselves down. A little bit of battling going in behind as well as the cars try to find themselves around. Will Sean Connolly take this chance, take the penalty? Yes, Sean Connolly very smartly decides this is the opportunity to dive down pit lane and take that penalty. So Sean Connolly will take the penalty, will not have to worry too much about that one, will return in 24th position. It says 13th because I have set a setting wrong that I'll need to change. If he comes out of pit lane, will be in 24th position overall. So good, really good opportunity to take that safety car to take the pit lane. Let's see if we can figure out some of what happened there, as it looks like I'm trying to catch what happened. Zara McGuinness. No, that's off of the line. I know McGuinness got into a crash. Oh, that was the catching the end of that one. Let's see if we can catch it a little bit earlier in the lap. This is, of course, the first accident that happened along the pit straight. We saw one later along, but this is McGuinness being pushed by Phil McDougall. McDougall to the inside. What happens here? They just run into each other. They just run into each other and just... Well, there you go. That is it, really. All of that accident going on. Let's see if we can... As we once again just catch on to the end of this one. A huge whack there. As this is Craig Jones. Craig Jones gets through the first bit of incident absolutely fine. What happens to Craig Jones down here? Everyone's swarming. This is the thing. Everyone's now running different speeds. They're swarming together. We're just moving around. And there it is. Contact on the outside. And just whack. A huge accident. There, as the drivers continue on through, then we catch up towards the front. Safety car will remain out right now and we'll go for another lap behind it. So just like race number 1, safety car comes out on lap number 3 and it looks like we'll come in at the end of 4. So we'll once again get 4 laps of racing towards the end of this race in this second of 3 races today. Let's see if we can get some intervals up rather than some gaps so you can see how close everyone is going to be on the restarts. I think that's going to be more helpful to those of you trying to track your favourite drivers, of course, along that left-hand side. I'm also hoping that will fix some of the issues that we were seeing with the plus zeros throughout race number 1. And we should hopefully see none of that happening now. Of course, being under safety car, it means that I'm constantly getting notified drivers may have crashed because they are driving so slowly around this circuit. But they are not crashing right now. The crashes is why they pitted it in the first place. It looks like Nick Clibbins is out of this race, down pit lane and out. So Clibbins were not the worst result in race number 1. In fact, was included in the top 15 flip, but out of this one. Actually, back out on pit lane now. It looks like for Clibbins. So maybe not so much out of this one. It looks like Nick Clibbins is still in it and actually still on the lead lap in this one. I think what is happening is, even though I've changed my settings to catch all of the cars, I don't think we are quite catching all of the cars. So I will try and fix that for the third and final race of the day during our handover to the race number 3 server. But we are currently watching. The safety car has just been called in, which means that just like in race number 1, Isaac Doble is the driver who is going to be leading the field on the restart. He pulled a second over our second place in race number 1 of Spinell, who's down to 28th overall in this one. But will he do the same here? He goes early once more into Parabolica. But remember what happened last time? Doble was still under attack onto the first braking point as we headed up towards the chicane, and he had already been overtaken. Will the same happen here? It's a lot closer this time, with Stock behind and Smith behind that. A bit of a gap back to Carl Thompson then in 4th position right now, but that is where we could see a fight for 4th as Adams moves to the inside of Thompson here, up towards turn number 1, and as you can see for the lead, Stock goes for the inside on Doble for the race lead. Doble lets that happen. Here comes Sam Smith to get the inside up towards the chicane now for the battle in the lead. Stock's already got it up the lead, but here comes Isaac Doble to get back to the inside on the chicane. That's exactly how we saw Spinell hold the lead for so long, for so many laps, is by just getting the better braking point into that second chicane, what is technically our first chicane of the day. Stock has got the purple lap, running the fastest overall lap time, but it's not enough to keep him out in front in the lead of this one. Drivers continue to come through then. Looks like we could have some good battles going on, but for the most part we are single file as we jump down the field. A little bit of movement going towards the back of this one. Here we go, the leading 3 up towards Ascari. Smith up the inside of Stock here for 2nd position. This is giving Doble a little bit of a chance, but Stock holds on the outside over Sam Smith. Murray Adams, Kieran Sharp, they're just behind. What are they going to do? Are they going to push? They are pushing the pusher. Yes, they are. Moves to the left-hand side. Goes Sam Smith looking for 2nd position in this race. We're going 2 by 2 up towards the Parabolica. Doble leads the way with a nice healthy lead. It won't stay that way as we'll get onto the braking point of the chicane. Up the inside is Nigel Stock on Murray Adams as we head across the timing line to go onto the 6th lap of this race. Are the drivers going to be able to do it without contact this time as they look for 2nd? Yes, they are. Lewis Delmont putting in the purple lap. Doble looking clean out front right now, half a second, but the drivers behind are going to get pushed. Is anyone going to get wobbled into a crash? We saw that happen in race number 2, but it looks like everyone being a little bit safer this time, but we're still going to be 3 wide. Up into turn number 1. Murray Adams dives up the inside of Doble. Somehow they all remain facing the right way. We go 3 wide up towards the braking point of the first chicane on this layout. Who is going to come out on top? Murray Adams on the inside. There's contact behind, a car around. That's Carl Thompson facing the wrong way. I think no, it's Nigel Stock facing the wrong way. We'll need to get that sorted out and get himself back facing the right way, which it looks like he has. But Murray Adams now leading the way over Kieran Sharp. Doble in 3rd position. And look at that. Mikey Doble, 5th position right now, has a chance to take the win here. He moves to the right-hand side of Wilson Weir. As we ride on board, he's side by side already. Up towards the Ascari chicane. Doble on the outside. Wilson Weir backs out of it. Drops behind. This is the leading 5 drivers now. It's Adams leading Sharp, leading the Doble brothers, leading Wilson Weir. This is the lead fight now as we come up towards the penultimate lap. Of course, just because this is the lead fight, it does not mean that this is going to be the finishing order, or even the drivers that finish in the top 5. Driver onto the grass in the background there. As the 2 next-gen drivers push each other along, I believe that was Jamie Dory finding himself off the circuit. No, it wasn't. It was Sam Smith-Craig, but no, it was Jamie Dory. No, he's behind. He's behind this fight now as I try to figure out which car that was up in front as the battle for the lead continues. Doble gets into 2nd. So Isaac gets into 2nd, being pushed here by Mikey. They go up towards turn number 1. Are the Dobles going to lead? The green cars are the Delmonts. Thank you. I know there are 3 green cars. It confuses me when they all run the same livery. We head up towards the chicane, however, and it is the 2 Dobles leading, but it's going to be 3 wide because Murray Adams is not going to give it up to the Dobles. Is Isaac going to get the better exit though. Yes, a little bit of a touch on the gravel from Adams, but Adams goes immediately defensive to get up the inside there. Adams holds it up the inside of Isaac Noble. Mikey Noble behind, up towards Nesmo 2, onto the brakes. This is where Isaac went around on the final lap of the race in race number 1. Who is going to come out on top here? 5 drivers, all at the front. Train contact behind. Dalmont, Lewis Dalmont around in the background. But everyone else gets through without issue. As we head on to the Ascari chicane now. And it's still Murray Adams leading the 2 Dables, leading Sharp, leading Wilson Weir. What is Isaac going to do here? Is he going to go for the lead on the penultimate lap of the race? He does. He moves to the outside up towards Parabolica. We have seen the outside line actually is better for your exit. You can get more speed up towards the timing line. That is going to matter next lap, not so much this lap, especially as Doble has got a huge amount of overlap. Adams almost letting him through. He knows now that he just needs to get the right push and he can get back into the lead. The white flag lap is going to begin here as we go on to the 8th lap of asking. It is 3 wide, the 2 Dobles and Murray Adams. It is Mikey Doble being pushed by Kieran Sharp. They're going to move towards the lead of the race. Doble moves to the right hand side, but not enough. There's contact, but they settle themselves down. Not enough to unsettle anyone. Doble leads the way. Sharp looks to the inside of Doble for the lead. Grass being kicked up, but they still remain sensible right now. It is Wilson Weir on the outside. Isaac Doble out there as well. We head up towards the chicane. It is going to be Mikey Doble, Kieran Sharp side by side for the lead of this one. Doble comes out ahead, sideways for Wilson Weir. Adams looks to try and get the inside, being pushed by Isaac Doble there in the battle for 3rd. It's side by side. Doble and Sharp leading the way. Isaac Doble fighting now, and that is Adam Wilson Weir off the circuit. Murray Adams to 3rd, Isaac Doble to 4th. Wilson Weir not out of it, so the lead fight's definitely between Mikey Doble and Kieran Sharp, but these battle for 3rd behind can get involved. Doble not pushing. Murray Adams decides to not push and try and catch up to the lead, possibly expecting a little bit of better speed out of the Ascari chicane. Who's going to come out on top? Because they're going to stay side by side as Adams jumps to curbing. They give each other just enough room, but Murray Adams comes out on top ahead of Doble here, back to the front, and it's going to be Kieran Sharp following behind here, moves to the outside. That outside line is the much better line to run on here as we fight in all the positions inside the top 5. It's 3 wide behind. Around goes Murray Adams. Sharp on the outside and Mikey Doble. They're going to wheel bang. Who is going to come out on top in this one? They come to the line. It's going to be Mikey Doble. He wanted a better race too. He got it. 3rd position goes to Adam Wilson Weir ahead of Isaac Doble. Craig comes home to finish 5th in that one somehow. But that was around at the final turn in that one. A real shame there for Murray Adams. But he did come home to take 9th at the end of that one. Let's see if we can get back a replay of that accident. This was the fight for 3rd position. It was happening behind the fight for the lead. Isaac Doble moves to the left. You can see Wilson Weir on the outside and just moves too far to the left for Murray Adams, trying to get onto the racing line. Almost what Isaac Doble did in race number 1. Trying to get onto the racing line just a bit too much. Fortunately, gets the car facing the right direction and will not have to worry too much about any of that. Let's get ourselves looking at the leader then. This is your race winner from race number 2. No, it's not. Let's get the race winner. This is the race winner from race number 2. Mikey Doble saying he wanted a better race too. Everyone in front of him to get into wrecks and he can just move through, not get involved, and that's exactly what happened for him. He moved his car through the field and he takes the win here for race number 2 at Monza. Let's have a look then at the results from that one. An absolutely great race for the second race of the day. One more coming your way, of course, full grid reversed. Let's have a look then at the results from race number 2 here at Monza. And it was Mikey Doble who took the win in that one ahead of Kieran Sharp. Adam Wilson-Weir took home third. And it was Isaac Doble just couldn't quite make it onto the podium. But once again, look at the gap from the leading two. It is incredibly close. It is going to be, again, incredibly close in the final race of the day. Craig took home 5th in that one ahead of Ben Oucher. Adam Delmont came home in 7th ahead of Carl Thompson. Murray Adams and Sam Spinell, after we saw him outside the top 20 under the safety car, managed to pull himself back into the top 10. That is a ridiculous improvement by the end of the race. McCain took home 11th ahead of McGuinness, who started on pole, got thrown into the wall, of course, which initiated the safety car after a few more wrecks, and managed to come home in 12th in the end on that one. So not a bad recovery drive from Zara McGuinness there. Lee Horn took home 13th ahead of Lewis Mason. Phil McDougall in 15th ahead of Tom Davison. Mark Sykes came home in 17th in that one, just ahead of Ian Manners. Leslie Brazil and Craig Jones rounding out your top 20. It was then Andrew Pike who took home 21st ahead of Mark Hughes. Sean Connolly serving that penalty under pit lane, of course. Under the safety car, of course, came to finish in 23rd ahead of Matt Gatter. Nick Clibbens took home 25th. And Jamie Doy just not having the races he was expecting after taking the wins in the test races yesterday. Down in 26th place in that one ahead of Sam Smith. Adrian Fritsch took home 28th position ahead of William Kurtler. And Nigel Stock took home 30th place. At the back of the field at the end of that one then, it was James Parfitt ahead of Andy Handhouse and Lewis Delmont. Everyone finishing on the lead lap of the race, which means we will have a full 33-car reversed field. Lewis Delmont will start this one from pole and will have a great opportunity. Delmont has been up there, of course, in opportunities for wins. Caught up in that earlier wreck means that starting from pole position in the final race of the day is going to help him significantly. Let's see if we can figure out what else happened towards the end there, because there was a few other wrecks going on as the race unfolded. This is Ben Oucher. We got a whole minute to wait. Let's shorten that down. No, this is just under the safety car. So it looks like most of it under the safety car, and that was towards the end of the race. So actually, it looks like in that one, it's very possible that we actually had a very nice, a much cleaner second half of the race after that safety car came out. We have one more race heading your way, though. I will be fixing those before I leave this server, that is for sure. And then we have got race number 3 heading your way. That is going to be our longer race of the day. It's going to be about 25 minutes compared to these 15 minutes. So I'm thinking we'll see possibly 12 laps of asking in the next race, the final race of the day. Full reverse grid. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a moment's time. We'll also catch a few of the drivers that we can talk to before race number 3 gets underway. We'll be back in just a moment. And we prepare ourselves for the third and final race of the day. I have tried to adjust some audio levels, as I know that there has been some issues with the volume level on the microphone, so I do apologise about that, and hopefully in race number 3 everything will be much clearer for all of you out there watching and listening here today. We have got one more race coming your way. It is a longer race, this one, a full reverse grid from our race 2 results, but before we get ourselves started on this one, which has a few minutes left of the drivers joining, let's have a jump and see if we could potentially find anyone to talk to out of that one. Of course, some good results from a few of our drivers there. Let's see if we can jump across it and see if we can get ourselves a word with anyone. In fact, let's see if we can get ourselves a word with a driver who was going okay during qualifying, has fallen down the order a little bit in this one. We've got Ben out here. Let's see if Ben is around to talk to. Ben, are you available to talk? It looks like we don't have a word with Ben at the moment. We'll hopefully catch him a little bit later. A driver that we wanted to talk to at the end of race number 1. Let's see if we can get a word with him here in race number 2. It is, of course, Isaac Doble. Let's see if we can talk to him in this one. Are you around, Isaac, for a quick word before we start the third and final race of the day? It looks like we are being left on our lonesome for today, which is absolutely fine, as race number 3 is preparing to get itself underway for the final time for the day, with a much longer race coming your way, which would be lovely for all of our drivers, especially if we go under safety car again, because we've managed in both of the 8-lap races so far to only get 6 racing laps. The hope is we can get a few more in this one. Will the safety car come out again? It is highly likely. That is certain to say. As let's go. Let me head back into the other chat to make sure that I don't miss out on any of the race calls. We tried to get a few people calling there. Unfortunately, we didn't, which is always the way to go, as I'm just having a quick bit, as it looks like we were trying to have a word with someone who obviously did not want to have a push to talk enabled. Ben, that is absolutely fine, Ben. Don't worry about it. We will hopefully catch you at another time, and we'll be able to have a talk in a future race. It's obviously not a race that is going Ben Oucher's way. He has had a bit of an unfortunate weekend. A lot of drivers getting an unfortunate weekend here, because it is certainly a race that, it's easy to get caught up in wrecks. But as we saw from race number 1, what helps is if there's a yellow flag, there's a special pedal next to that big loud one, the one that makes the car goes vroom. And just for any of the drivers watching this back, just so you're prepared for race number 2, that pedal next to the loud one, it slows the car down. Now, when there's a yellow flag in front of you, what you're going to want to do is hit that pedal that slows the car down. I know it's detrimental. You want to win the race. You want to get to the front. But this is a top tip for you all out there. If you hit that brake pedal, you won't crash and you can still win. So that was fun. The interview was locked to push for. Okay, thank you, Ben. I will get that fixed so that it is not locked to push to talk in the next one. Thank you so much. I will sort that one out. As these so obviously these voice chats, these channels are very new for the return of the Mazda series after a few years away here at NXTGEN. So yeah, we'll get that fixed. Thank you for letting me know, Ben, and yeah, hopefully we won't have that issue again in the future. It's possible why we were having issues talking to Isaac as well. That is very likely the reason we were having issues talking to Isaac. So that will be fixed for the next one, so we can talk to absolutely everybody in the next race. So if you are a driver and you want to get involved in some of the interviews and have the chance for me pulling you across and talking about your races, do get involved in the Discord voice chat as well. Right, let's go through our grid then. We're going to have a quick moment to talk through the grid on this one. Oh, as I hit the wrong thing again. You got to stop seeing my behind the scenes. It's not good. Right, let's get a quick look at how the grid is going to start from this one. It is a total reverse grid, so therefore Lewis Delmont is going to start this one from the front of the field. He's going to be ahead of Andy Howdhouse and Parfit. Then Kirtley will start in fourth, ahead of Stock and Fish. Then we will go on to this one, finding the right button, as Smith is starting in seventh, ahead of Jamie. Dory has a real opportunity here. It was from eighth. As Jamie has sorted it for the future. Thank you for letting me know. Nick Clewins will start in 9th position ahead of Matt Gatter and Sean Connolly, and then Mark Hughes was in 12th position at the for the start of this one. 13th will be Andrew Pike. 14th is going to be Craig Jones. We are missing 15th place on the grid. It will be 16th for Ian Manners. Mark Sykes will start with 17th ahead of Tom Davison in 18th position. 19th will be Phil McDougall. 20th for Lewis Mason ahead of Lee Horn and Zara McGuinness. McCain will start from 23rd ahead of Spinale, who will get closer to the front and hopefully will get through. And then 25 will be Murray Adams ahead of Thompson, Delmont, Alcher, Craig and Isaac Doble. And at the back of the field will be Wilson Weir, Sharp and Mikey Doble, who won race number 1. This is a total reverse grid. It is still full. It is still for full points, so all points on offer in all 3 races. The reversed grid does not mean anything at all alongside all of the points, so don't worry about that one. These drivers are going to be going for the race win, but the drivers starting towards the back will need to work their way towards the front, of course. We are counting down to the last few seconds here on the grid, and then we will get in start. It looks like we are missing 6th place on the grid as well. As it looks like... Nope, there we go. We've got everyone onto the grid as we will start this race, and we'll get the lap count up. It is a 13-lap race heading your way. It is going to be a green flag. Away we go. A great launch from Lewis Delmont. Not so much from Andy Outhouse on the front row of the grid. That is going to be James Parfit to the left-hand side, and William Kirtler dives straight to the outside, knowing that that was a slow launch on the inside line. But it is going to start getting pushed along now as we head up towards turn number 1. This is already a crash at the front of the field. Hopefully drivers will avoid, but it looks like a number of cars involved behind. More cars full. That is the entire field caught up in this one. The entire field has been caught up in that, apart from the very, very front of the grid right now. And Lewis Delmont will take the lead out the front, but we are straight away having a massive accident. We will most likely go under caution. I'm waiting for it to be said in my ear, as it does sound very possibly like we will. Obviously it does look like we should, as that's Zara McGuinness with some damage as well. Cars going past here, a lot of cars having some issues. This is Mikey Doble though. He's up to 20th place at the moment already in this one, as Delmont leads the way. You can already see how many cars are caught up in instance. They're not out. I did have a look. I am drawing all cars, so I'm not sure what the issue there is, and it will be fixed in the next one as we watch Delmont here leading over McCain. McCain's off and around he goes, trying to sort it out as the rest fights along towards the Parabolica. This is now up at the front. The safety car has been penalised, but he is out, and we are going to get a safety car. This is 3 wide, and that's Jamie Dory off the track here in a fight with James Parfitt, Mark Hughes. We've got Andrew Pike there as well. It's going to be 3 wide over the line to start the safety car. And it looks like they've settled themselves into position as they fought to take that position there. As they all, as you can see, how many cars are already down pit lane. But we are under safety car in this one. Drivers moving up the order. As you can see, Mikey Doble there up to 17th place from the very back of the field in this one. Did I check both the graphics and the replay? Yes, both of them are set to well, I've got 60 cars and then draw all cars, so I'm not sure what that issue is, but I will sort it out. As this is up towards the front then, so this is 7th and 8th position, trying to sort themselves into position. That's Fritsch ahead of Brazil. So it is Lewis Delmont starting. He started in 3rd position. He went straight to, sorry, no, he started from pole position. He held on to the lead. He's got he got that position ahead of Kurtler. Then Parfitt is in 3rd ahead of Mark Hughes. Andrew Pike is up to 5th. James Dory into 6th position there. Let's have a little look actually at our biggest gainers. That's not something that we have done all weekend so far, and currently it is Craig who has gained the most positions in this race. That's class positions rather than overall positions though, isn't it? That's really annoying. That's not correct, which is really frustrating. I'd love to get a correct one up for you. I won't be able to due to our class positions being sorted, and those positions, I would say actually that Mikey Doble is actually the driver who has gained the most. That is definitely just a blinking car. That's not me. That is just a blinking car there. So I will move off of him and we will watch the field come through. In fact, whilst we are waiting under the safety car here on the 2nd lap of the race, can we jump through and see this accident at the very first lap? Here we go. So we see the accident happen ahead. We'll see that occur up towards turn number 1. Before we even enter turn 1, there it is. Major contact. And there disappears everyone, as so much happened there. What happened there? Whoa! What a perfect time to come back in. As we watch the end of that one occur. This was towards back and field. And you can see already that Mike Noble there backed out of that one. I don't know why we're getting a few cars disappearing, but you can just see the absolute carnage of everyone being involved in that one towards the back. There is a black flag for Andy Howhouse. We are coming to a stop. We are actually, it looks like, under red flag conditions here. We are going to get a race restart here. I can hear it. We are getting a race restart. I'm just listening quickly in my ears. Complaints from race control. And they are just advising drivers how to push one another right now. But we are currently red flagged in this race, and we are preparing to get a race restart. Now, there was discussion about a possible grid restart. However, I think we are doing a safety car restart, a rolling start restart. As we can see, the safety car stopped at the moment. The rest of the field all falling behind. If you are just joining, this is the 3rd race of the day. It is our longest race of the day. We had a full reverse grid from race 2 results. Major accident off of the starting line. We are currently under red flag conditions, preparing for a race restart. That is a safety car restart confirmed here. And it's, by the sounds of it, we are going to be going one more lap under the safety car, and we will be restarting this race on the 4th. Just gonna say that sat here watching the broadcast, you are very lucky. You are not listening to what I heard in my ears there. A bit of a telling off to all of the drivers. Telling drivers just to be careful. Mostly it was on the wibbles, the wobbles. When the car gets loose, basically back off. Don't keep on pushing. It is causing the cars to become unsettled, and it is a problem. That's why we're getting the crashes. We are currently getting purple flag laps. Look at this fastest lap time. It is 5 minutes and 21.9 seconds because we were sat under the red flag conditions for a few minutes. But we are restarting this race. We're going to be restarting onto the 4th lap of the race. We've got a rolling start. Lewis Delmont will start the restart from the front of the field. William Kurtler will be in second ahead of James Parfitt and Mark Hughes. I have to say, I was not expecting a red flag in this one, but it has happened. Andy Outhouse, I believe, towards the back of the field, is serving his penalty. So he will start at the back of the field, but he's getting that penalty out of the way. A smart choice to make, that's for certain. But Outhouse is 33rd position, which means after all of that, all of those incidents, it is going to be the entire field restarting this race. All 33 cars that started the initial race 3 will be starting our restart after the red flag. The safety car rolling start here will begin on the 4th lap of the race. We are hoping, by hope, that all the cars will be able to get through without any more issues. I wasn't even the one being told off, and I already felt bad listening to all of that. So hopefully I won't have to listen to that again. I mean, I'm not even the one driving, and I felt bad. So let's hope that we will see a bit of a cleaner restart here. We will have 10 laps on the board for this restart here, as we head up now towards the final turn. It is Lewis Delmont leading William Kurtler here as we restart the race. It is going to be 10 laps to ask. We've had safety cars, we've had red flags. Can we get clean racing? Delmont is away out of the final turn ahead of William Kurtler here. It is Parfitt away in 3rd position, side by side between Mark Hughes and Andrew Pike behind. Pike is being pushed by Jamie Dory. Dory wanting the result here in race number 3. He has had a bad weekend to his name. Can he turn it around here as we head up towards turn number 1? The drivers, for the most part, still remaining single file as Doble looks to try and get past Ben Altria here. Doble on the outside of Altria. A long way around, but it looks like it will be Isaac Doble's position for position number 14, and there's a crash already up ahead into the chicane. It's all hidden. It was Doble. That's why we didn't see it. Doble and another car around on the exit of the chicane. More cars getting involved. Doble trying to get through. He passed away. A little bit of contact at the end of that one, but does get through. The cars settling themselves down, and a bit of an accordion effect behind now, as they all try to just recover in this one and get through. We've got more cars facing the wrong way at the chicane. Off the circuit there is Adrian Fritsch, and it looks like he is out of the race as well. Back up towards a 3-wide fight now. This is a battle outside of the top 10 at the moment. You can see the racing numbers. You're going to get a great opportunity to look on the left-hand side again to see who they are. I'm trying to keep an eye on the racing right now as we go in towards the Ascari chicane, and that's over the curb and into the wall. A heavy hit for... who was that? Is that Mark Hughes? I think it was Hughes, off and around, and will also be down the order once more. It's a fight for the lead though. Delmont with Kurtler just behind, a battle for 3rd. Jamie Dory gets past James Parfitt. Dory now looking for the lead if he can. It's a second up, but if he gets pushed by Parfit, they could both find their way to the front of the field. Delmont leading Kurtler, leading Dory, leading Parfit right now. The 4 cars all in a line. Purple for Kurtler. Kurtler, is he going to continue pushing, or is he going to look for the lead? Is he going to work with Delmont to pull away? He is working, but he's right on the bumper to the corner there. That could be a really dangerous position to be if you're not careful. We ride on board with James Parfit here. He sits in 4th position. He is leading the Pro-Am class. It looks like we could once again look for the lead for Kurtler out front ahead. A little bit of smoke, but Kurtler stays behind Delmont, knowing it's going to be the end of the race where it is important to lead, not the opening lap of the race. Gravel being kicked up there, and Parfit losing a little bit of time on the exit. This is now an opportunity for Dory. He's got on the inside of Kurtler. That was a wobble for Delmont. Dory behind Kurtler, behind Delmont. Delmont keeps it facing the right way, but that was a bit of a wobble there. They all continue through at the front though. Lights now on as we get further into the evening, up towards the Ascari chicane. Kurtler moves slightly to the left. He's not going to make a move on Delmont, trying to deter Dory from making a move into the Ascari chicane. Not really a place you want to make a move anyway. As we've seen in the past, it just hasn't worked out. The exit is going to work out though, as that's a slow car. Back marker down, and oh my word, almost collected there in the fights as this is side by side. Kurtler's got the speed on the exit here. That is Parfit and Davison side by side behind. Davison to the inside of Parfit for 4th position. Parfit holds it on the outside, a little bit of a lot wider line, a bit of a slide, and up towards the timing line now. And somehow Mikey Doble, he started this race in last position. He is 8th position right now. He has the opportunity to go from last to first in this second race. He is being pushed right now by Ben Outra. He is the fastest man out on field, and that is a car coming out of pit lane back up towards the front fight. 3 cars going for it. Jamie Dory has moved past Delmont, being pushed by Kurtler for that move. Delmont though not really going to hate the fact that he is behind, because like I said, it's all about the end. But here comes Tom Davison to the inside. Are they going to settle themselves single file? No, side by side, Delmont and Davison. Davison's going to get a little bit of gravel. Delmont gets the better exit. Delmont holds on to 3rd position right now as they go through. That's a car into the gravel behind as they try to settle themselves down. We're going to go side by side through the chicane. A car is off, but everyone else behind gets through without too much issues. A little bit of bumping and banging, but that's about it. So it looks like there may have been some learning from the drivers under that red flag. Tom Davison moves past Lewis Delmont on the outside. Delmont again, even if he drops down to 4th like he is now, he's not out of this race. We're only about to go not even halfway through this race at this point. Over the Ascari chicane, that was James Parfit running slightly wide into Ascari. That will compromise his exit, compromise exit. Delmont gets onto the gravel on the exit of the Ascari chicane there as we now look towards the lead fight. Again, it is Jamie Dory leading William Kurtler. Now, Dory was the fastest man in practice. He's not had the races go his way, but he has found his way to the front at the moment, as behind Mikey Doble moves into 7th position, and right behind Isaac Doble are the brothers going to support each other here, help each other out towards the front. I think they will, because they're only a few seconds off of that lead fight if they can get back up there. Talking about the lead fight, here it is right now, and at the moment on the left hand side of the circuit, Delmont is pushing Davison through towards the lead. Kurtler looking to push Dory. He does, but he obviously isn't going to have as much speed to support here as Doble and Doble running 6th and 7th continue to push each other, as Craig trying to get involved in that one just behind as well. They settle themselves down in single file behind. This is not single file as we go up towards turn number 1. It's the Doble brothers on the inside. It is Craig on the outside as we head up towards the braking zone. It's the 2 teammates working each other, actually, the TCRC machines, to the inside of the first chicane. And somehow it looks like they do remain all clean, but a poor exit, as that is a car around and off into the gravel, and another car facing the wrong way. I believe that Wilson Weir was facing the wrong way out of that one. Here comes Isaac Doble on the back of Craig here for 5th position. Craig working well with his teammate, but the two Doble brothers were working well together as well. Ben Oucher is now involved in this one and could try to do something with it. Tom Davison has pulled an 8/10 second of a lead at the front of the field, but that won't stay. Delmont is right behind Jamie Dory, almost looked for second, decided to back out of it. The smarter choice going through Ascari. Are they going to work together to try and close the gap to Tom Davison? Davison's got no toe out front, of course, as we head up towards the Parabolica for the 7th time of asking, but only the 4th time of asking under 4th time. I can do maths. It's the 4th time of asking under racing conditions. They remain in their single file line at the moment, but what is Delmont going to do? Is Delmont going to push Dory? Yes, Delmont is going to push Dory towards Davidson here. You can see that front end damage on Dory's machine. It's not going to mean absolutely anything here, but they are pushing towards the lead. More pushing back there, but here comes Jamie Dory. You can see the speed that he's got. Lewis Delmont follows through, and Tom Davison just falls behind up towards turn number 1. William Kurtler looking to try and get the outside of Davidson as well. It's side by side once more behind. The Doble brothers in different lines this time as we come up towards the braking zone. Isaac Doble is leading that inside line. There's wobbles though. Are they going to be able to get through without incident? It looks like they're going to try, and it looks like they are, as Mikey Doble gets to the inside of the number 200 machine and manages to stick out the inside of Craig and will hold that position for now, as that was also Kieran Sharp making a way through as well. And the safety car has been deployed. Something has happened. Something has happened towards the back of this field. The safety car has come out here for the 2nd time this race. The first time it turned into a red flag, but the safety car is out on track once more. Right, through Ascari Chicane. They can fight up to the line. Who is going to want to lead this one? Delmont out front at the moment ahead of Dory. Davidson, is he going to try and get into 2nd position? Ready for the restart here. We head up towards the final turn. And Davidson moves to the outside. Dory holds the inside, but we know what that outside line can do here, especially up towards the timing line. We'll get the overhead shot because this is great to see up towards the line. Who is going to come onto the safety car lap ahead? It looks like it's going to be Jamie Dory's position for P number 2, but here comes Davidson. He's finding the time, but it will be Jamie Dory who will start the safety car in 2nd position. The rest of the field all filing themselves through as they settle themselves down and slow down a little bit. Are they? They're not. Safety car is out. No, they're not. They're racing. The safety car was out, but it's not out. It's an issue on my timing end, and they're going to keep on racing. He's in pit lane. Interesting. It's telling me he is out of pit lane. It told me he came out. He did not. It is continuing to race here under these conditions. Delmont leaving Davidson, leading Kirtley, leading Dory. That is my bad. Not misreading my timing screen. My timing screen lying to me. We will blame the timing screen and not me on that one. As we come through the Lesmos, this is the fight behind at the moment. Oucher losing the position to Craig. Craig on that inside line. Oucher on the outside. They've got Isaac Doble ahead. But oh my god, they're squeezing off onto the gravel. He holds it. Oucher keeps that position for now. But Mikey Doble on the outside. Goes through, will have the speed, and is being pushed here by Kieran Sharp. So Ben Oucher was on the outside of Craig and just got a bit too much gravel on the exit of Lesmo 2. And they have now settled themselves down into the Ascari Chicane. And this fight right now is the fight for 5th position, being led by Isaac Doble. They are not catching the lead fight, which is being pushed right now. Delmont leading Tom Davidson. Of course, we got a Delmont winning race number 1 today. It was Adam Delmont who won race number 1. Mikey Doble, he is back in it on the full reverse grid from 33rd place on the grid. He is up to 7th right now. If that fight, that train behind, can close up to this fight ahead, it could be a big opportunity for a double victory here. But you can see drivers just staying in line. That back train is working together. The front train right now is working together. Jamie Dory staying back from it, not wanting to push. He knows what may happen and he doesn't want to be a part of it. But right now, Delmont leads Davison, leads Kirtler, leads Dory. The train behind Doble. Isaac Doble leading Craig, Mikey Doble, Sharp and Oucher. It's then 10 seconds back to the next car back, but here comes Davidson to the inside on the chicane to take the lead in this race. Tom Davidson leads on the 10th lap of asking. It will be 3 to go at the end of this one as we head into the Lesmos, but there was certainly some battling going behind, and that is Mikey Doble up the inside of Ben Oucher through Lesmo 1. Can Oucher hold it on the outside line this time? Wasn't able to do it last time. He ducks behind Mikey Doble and will stick behind right now as we head up towards the Ascari chicane. Is there going to be an opportunity here, or are they going to continue working together? They keep on fighting and it's taking them away from the fight for the lead. But here comes Kieran Sharp to look up the inside of Ben Oucher as they get out towards Ascari. He backs out of it. Oucher will hold his position, and Mikey Doble will hold on to 7th behind Isaac Doble, but it's now Craig leading this train of drivers back to the front, and Lewis Delmont is pushing Tom Davidson. Up towards the Parabolica now is this lead fight going, with William Kirtler behind. Jamie Dory in 4th position through the Parabolica up towards the timing line once more for 3 laps to go here. Since the restart, it's the longest running that we have had all weekend so far. That is 7 laps completed, which is 1 more green flag lap in a row than we got in the previous 2 races. Sorry, that we got in the previous 2 races total. As this is the lead, Davison, Delmont, Kirtler leading out at the moment. Kirtler moves to the left-hand side, doesn't want to push through turn number 1. The safer bet there. None of these drivers are truly going to fight until the last lap of the race, as they might just change positions, but they're not going to fight each other here. Delmont look to the inside, backs out of it, doesn't actually go for the move. Here we go once again. A fight for 5th position. It is Isaac Doble leading Craig. There's contact with Mikey Doble. Mikey gets it settled, as does Craig right now, as they are fighting for 6th position. But they're going to stay in at the moment. Isaac Doble, without any toe in front, will be at a detriment to those behind who have got that slipstream. Are they going to go for any overtakes up towards Ascari chicane? We haven't seen any overtakes in the lead packs towards this chicane yet. We've seen moves, but nothing that has actually turned into anything. And no moves either here. Running in line. Are we going to see that next lap on lap 12, the penultimate lap, to see if they can try and work themselves up towards that lead fight? The gap 2 seconds right now. If they work together and the leading 4 fight, they could close in. Now, of course, the last lap of the race, the leading 4 drivers are properly going to fight in this one. It will invite this trailing pack to catch up. But that is Kieran Sharp looking up the inside of Oucher. Oucher backs out and lets Sharp take it. As we head towards the timing line once more, Oucher looking to switch back behind as I get a little bit too far back. And here comes Outria to the inside line. He's getting the toe, whereas Kieran Sharp is not. So Outria just getting a little bit of a benefit here up towards turn number 1. talk about turn number 1. It is side by side for the lead here on the penultimate lap of the race. Tom Davidson getting pushed here by Lewis Delmont. It's Kurtler on the outside being pushed by Dory. That outside line carrying a lot more speed. William Kurtler gets pushed into the lead of the race here. They're going to break for the chicane. Kurtler immediately, well, he was moving over, then doesn't. Jamie Dory flies back onto the racing line, though, to get a good run through the chicane, as that is Mikey Doble off the track. Mikey Doble in 9th position off the track there. Was there a little bit of contact with that one? No! He goes around all on his own. He was leading that train. And the BTCC driver goes around on his own and is no longer in that fight. It's now only a fight with the top 8. As that is Kurtler backing out of the lead. Kurtler, is that a slowdown, or is that he wants to be at the back of this train? I think that is he wants to be at the back of the train, which I think is the smartest place to be coming up towards the white flag lap. As we head towards the 13th lap of asking here, restarted the race on the 4th lap. It's been 10 hard 4 laps of racing. Tom Davidson leading the way ahead of Lewis Delmont and Jamie Dory is William Kurtler in 4th position. That train behind as well, by battling for 5th position. It is Ultra leading the train behind. But this is the fight we are going to watch. It is going to be white flag lap. Who is going to help who? Who are the friends out there? There's a bit of a wobble. Contact between Delmont and Dory. The two teammates, they wobble. Another bit of a wobble. Pushing the pusher here. They are all running together up towards turn number 1. William Kurtler says, what are you doing, man? You're slowing right down. He moves to the left-hand side. Is he going to be able to carry enough speed on his own on the outside? It doesn't look like he can. And it looks like he may start to fall back behind as Jamie Dory backs out of it. Jamie Dory moves behind Kurtler. Now it is Davidson, Delmont, Kurtler and Dory. They swap positions up towards the chicane here as Kurtler looks up the inside of Delmont towards the first braking point. Delmont moves back to the outside. Davidson holds the defensive line. They settle themselves down into single file through the chicane. As we head up towards the Lesmos, gravel being kicked up behind, but all those drivers making it through as well, as they are also side by side in the fight. That was Sharp and Ultra comes out on top, and they continue to change positions. But Ultra's got the inside line on Sharp, so will take 7th position for now. This leading fight, that's a wobble from William Kurtler. Our Lesmo 2, Jamie Dory moves to the right hand side, is going to try and take that position, but it is Kurtler who has got the slipstream, but he is now dropping behind. Dory up to 3rd position now. Is all going to be about their run up towards and through the Parabolica. Davidson leads the way over Lewis Delmont right now. Bit of sliding going on. Some two-wheeling action at the front of the field as well. We head out of the Ascari chicane and up towards the Parabolica for the final time of asking. Tom Davidson leads Lewis Delmont. The outside line has proved to be the better line into the Parabolica, well, out of the Parabolica in all of the races so far, as Jamie Dory looks for it. Delmont goes for it at the very end. Dory ducks up the inside of Delmont right now. Tom Davidson will lead the way up to the line. Tom Davidson will win here in Monza, surely, as Jamie Dory is going to take 2nd. Who's going to take 3rd? A little bit of a nudge. It's a battle to the line for 3rd, and it is going to be a tie across the line. No, 0.004 of a second between Delmont and Kurtler for the lead fight there. More fights going on behind. Contact. Cars off the track behind. Through the final corner, through the Parabolica. It looks like Leslie Brazil was one of those cars that went around at the final Parabolica turn. And up towards the timing line for the last of our drivers who are trying to just get home for the final time today. But it was this man who came out on top in this one. It was Tom Davidson. The win for him here in race number 3. An absolutely fantastic result in that one. Look how close the top 4 were. The gap being less than 1.5 tenths of a second. That was An incredible race at the end of that one, and what a win for Tom Davidson as he comes across the line as race winner here around the Monza circuit. A brilliant job indeed though, and we are going to get the race results and see if there's anyone that we are able to have a word with. But before we do, like I said, let us get the race results out of that one, how this ended here at the final race around Monza. It was Tom Davidson who wins that one ahead of Jamie Dory. Lewis Delmont took home third position ahead of William Kurtler. Craig took home fifth ahead of Isaac Doble and Ben Oucher in seventh. Kieran Sharp took home eighth, and after spinning himself out in that fight for fifth, Mikey Doble finished in ninth position. 10th position was for Murray Adams. 11th position was Phil McDougall ahead of Alan McCain. James Parfitt took home 13th ahead of Sam Spinell. Nick Clibbins in 15th position. Lewis Mason took home 16th ahead of Mark Sykes, Matt Gatter, Leslie Brazil and Nigel Stock for your top 20. 21st position was Ian Manners ahead of Craig Jones and Andy Outhouse. Carl Thompson took home 24th ahead of Adam Delmont. Mark Hughes was in 26th ahead of Adam Wilson-Weir. Adrian Fish finished a lap down. Sean Connolly out of the race alongside Zara McGuinness, Sam Smith, Lee Horn and Andrew Pike. What a fantastic race. Set of races that has been absolutely amazing, and now that we are in the broadcast room, let's see if we are able to drag anyone in here and quickly catch anyone. Let's see if we can catch Ben Outra actually in that one, Ben, because we've been trying to catch Ben for a couple of times now, and hopefully we'll be able to talk in the server now. So Ben, that was a tight fight for the top five at the throughout that race. How do you feel that you were swapping and changing positions all race long?
No, that was a lot of fun. Some of the best racing I've had in a long time, I think, to be honest. It was tough. Keep up with those guys. They're always fast, regardless of what they're in. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun.
Well, obviously starting with a race that was all about pushing and getting the toe. Do you think it's still going to be close going into the next rounds? As we've got Zandvoort, you've got Long Beach, some good tracks coming up.
Definitely looking forward to Zandvoort. I do enjoy Zandvoort. Brands Hatch Indy, less so. It's a little bit like squished oval, bit boring maybe, but we'll see how it goes in the Masters. I've not driven them around there.
I say 40 cars around a track that small, it should be a good one. But good result on that last race then, Ben, and hopefully it will continue to go well for you as the races continue.
Thank you very much.
A great result there for Ben Oucher in that last race of the day. Of course, moving all the way through in that fight and ending up coming home inside the top the top 10 in that last result, finishing in 7th. Let's see if we're able to have a look to see if we can pull across. He's already gone. I was hoping to get Isaac Doble in, as we've been trying all day to pull Isaac in here. We haven't been able to. Let's see if we can get Adam Wilson-Weir actually into and see if we can speak to Adam very quickly, because Adam has had a great set of results actually, getting involved in the front fights and it going well in those opening races of the day. Not so much in the last race of the day though. Adam, let's talk. How's this set of races gone for you?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you, Adam.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, that was so much fun. I mean, coming from because I usually do the GT3 series for Next Gen, and coming in the Mazdas, it's a blast. Like, it was a bit unfortunate about race 3 there. There's nothing I could have really done there to react to that, but yeah, I mean, I'm smiling. I've been smiling the whole night, so it's good.
It's great. It's such a great set of tracks we've got coming up. Brilliant cars and a huge packed field as well. Do you think that you'll find yourself towards the front again as the season goes on, or do you think the toe and the slipstream is what got you up there today?
I don't know. I mean, I'm feeling hopeful. Like, I'm not a big fan of the Mazda, but I mean, tonight's been fantastic. I felt good in it tonight. So, as I say, we don't really know until we get to Brands Hatch to see what the toe's like. So it's just a matter of seeing what way the car reacts to the track, and you know, because I know it's the older tower model on these cars, so it might be a bit tricky.
Well, fantastic set of races, though. Again, just let's forget about the reverse grid one, but a great start to the season, and good luck for the rest of the season as it comes.
Yeah, thank you very much.
As that was Adam there, finishing that final race of the day all the way down in 27th position, but he had been fighting for some good results. And as you heard from those that we were talking to there, this set of cars, it's not one that these drivers are used to. It's not ones that they drive very often. However, it just provides fantastic racing. And I think what Adam Wilson-Weir there said sums it all up. He was smiling all evening long. And I know that I certainly have been here in the commentary booth. I hope that you guys have been as well, watching, and all of the drivers that have been down behind the field have been having a fantastic race as well, and that they've enjoyed it, and we should have a fantastic season coming up as well. So if you're not already taking part in these Tuesday evening races, then be sure to get involved, because as this race showed, that yes, it can all go wrong, you can all get into an accident, but that doesn't matter. You can find your way back up to the front. You can have some great racing. Those safety cars, those red flags, they do allow you to get back into it. So if you had a board start, it's not over, and that's what's brilliant about this series. And I cannot wait for the rest of the season. The first round already complete here. We will be back, of course, just next Tuesday. We'll be heading across to the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, as we're saying. It's a bit of a squished oval. Might not be a fan of that circuit. However, it certainly is going to be a very tight track with a lot of cars down and out there. I think we're going to see a number of issues once again, and I think that's going to be what's going to be a highlight of some of these events. So be sure to make sure that you subscribe onto the YouTube, that you follow the Facebook page, that you head across to the Discord, and that you also follow on the Twitch page that is being streamed to the Beehive Build broadcasting page. And then we will be doing race highlights for each of these weekends that will be available on the Beehive Build YouTube channel. So you'll be able to catch up on all of the key moments throughout the races. I hope you've had a fantastic evening, though. I certainly have, and I cannot wait until next Tuesday when we are back at it again at Brands Hatch. So until next time, have a fantastic evening. Enjoy your racing, and goodbye.